Recorded live in Hollywood, California. It's time once again for the long shot, come hell or high water. Tonight's episode: dining room tables are not desks. And now, please welcome the host of the long shot, Sean Conroy. Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good noon, good day, good dusk, good desk, good disc, good desk. Welcome to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. I am your host. My name is Sean Conroy. With me today on the show, the intermittence himself, Mr. Jamie Flam is here.
Pleasure to be back. Hey, gang.
Glad to be here for you back.
Welcome back.
For your back, yes.
Yes.
We love
also
we're back.
Also with us on the show today is none other than the man with a cigar, a canal, Panama. Joe Wagner is here.
Hey, everybody.
Joe.
Good to see you again.
And live from the Dynasty Typewriter Theater,
It does look like it.
Amber
Taping
Kenny
our
is
first
here.
1 hour special, everyone. Coming soon.
Thank you, Hot Room.
By the way, this is like since some of you may be listening, it's as if Amber made herself the wizard in the Wizard of Oz, the giant floating head, and she is filling the screen, and people are very tiny, and she's talking. It looks like she could gobble them up if she wanted.
It reminds me, I mean, Jamie was just doing a thing where he had a beret on and earrings, and he looked very French.
He looked
did.
great.
And it reminds me of the end of what was it? What was the one where
Amelie.
No, Inglorious Bastards, where they come in and kill Hitler in the theater at the end.
Totally.
So Amber is the woman at the end going,
Oh my God.
I am going to kill you and you will die in a fiery death. Hitler, you killed my family.
Well, it feels like, we're playing some sort of joint charades where like our two filters have to, you guys have to guess the movie.
Right.
Amber,
Inglourious
also,
Bastards.
You got
also,
it.
if your 1 hour special was just you
movie
recreating
is that?
Tarantino monologues, and Jamie has become
A duck.
a duck.
It's a mallard, I believe.
Okay.
There's
Well, I
a
believe
brown
that's a type of duck.
There's a brown streak.
It's not wrong what he said.
There's a brown streak at the end of the bill that makes it almost look like a mustache. And I thought for a
A
second,
Hitler duck. It's a
It
Hitler
is
duck.
Hitler-esque. There we go. We can stay with the whole theme.
but he's got a punk green pompadour, and now Amber has a rose garland in her hair.
This is Kill Bill 2 you guys are doing. You guys are doing Kill Bill 2.
You got it.
And,
How about
and
this one?
Sean
What's this?
is using the filter where his hand is against his face.
That's a
Pulp
good
Fiction.
filter.
Pulp Fiction.
Is the GIMP a filter?
This is unlistenable. Sorry,
No,
everyone.
this is bad to listen to for sure. I'm not helping. I'm going to stop.
This would drive traffic to our YouTube channel.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. You guys got to check out the YouTube channel where people just keep switching filters. Basically doing what your grandparents were doing 11 months ago on Zoom. All right. Well, we always like to start the show with a segment that we call Checking In. By the way, Merry Christmas, Amber.
Time to take those lights down, Amber. Come on.
It's March. We always start with checking in. So I feel like since Jamie hasn't been here for at least a week, maybe more. I don't remember. Were you here 2 weeks ago? Maybe.
I was here
Who
2 weeks
knows?
ago.
It's very hard to keep track. You're so busy. So since you haven't been here at least in a week, let's start today with Joe.
But okay, here.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Well, the first thing that I was actually like, oh, I don't want to interrupt Jamie if he's about to start, but I will now since I'm checking in. I will say, Jamie, that's a good thing. I just wanted to say I haven't had a chance to say this to you. I'm glad that you've been busy, and that people have been renting out the theater. I mean, you've come up with the alternatives that you needed to do during a freaking pandemic. So.
Thank you.
Are they renting out the theater, or is it still the thing where people get kidnapped and dumped under the little?
That was a one day kidnapping situation.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Jamie, for the record, Jamie has changed up the business model since then, since that episode.
Since some legal.
Hi,
Mostly
welcome to the
kidnapping.
Dynasty Typewriter. Please, my family will pay anything.
Jamie's rolling in it right now. He's got bags of cash. He's got a Breaking Bad style giant block of cash. All right. I want to start off by saying that it has felt very different in Los Angeles in the last couple weeks. So numbers are going down, cases are going down, hospitalization.
It's basically over, right? We can all just be normal now.
It's not over. It's not over, and yet I'm having the weird mind fuck of there is like I know there is a Hollywood production that is shooting around my building today, and they shot yesterday as well.
Go become a star.
Baby. It's Hollywood, baby.
Lucille Ball that shit.
And I'm hearing, and I believe there's also construction happening. So I'm hearing both a production. Unfortunately,
and a construction.
So Aaron brought up.
It's time to write a song, Joe.
Well, Channing Tatum. If anybody doesn't know this episode, at one point Channing Tatum was outside Amber's apartment window eating a sandwich
for 3 days. Like it wasn't like he walked by once.
No,
and it was not,
days.
to be clear, it was not the same sandwich the whole time.
It was not the same sandwich, and he wasn't wearing the same clothes. Oh, he might have been. Well, I don't know. For content,
he had costume changes. There are multiple scenes that happen in my neighborhood,
and there were at least a couple of different sandwiches. To be clear.
I happen to live on the 10th floor of this 100-year-old building, and
you happen to live there. It's just a weird coincidence. I'm supposed to believe that.
I'm just saying.
Right. You're cute.
I didn't choose the 10th.
What a crock of shit. Oh, I just happened to live here.
I didn't choose the 10th.
Okay, pal.
I happened into this apartment, but I thought, well, there's no way Channing Tatum's going to be outside my window because he would have to be like on either
he'd
floating
be on cables
on cables. I mean, unless it was like a stunt or something. Anyway, there's been so much. In addition to construction, I think there is some construction going on somewhere. That there's been so much sound outside my apartment. That what you're saying, Sean, as far as maybe people wanting to think, hey, it's over. I'm hearing all this activity. And I went out quickly to do a cross the street run, and I came back, and there were lots of people out. 99% masked, but it was strange to feel
I'm writing the musical in my head, and it goes production, construction, a random introduction, but there's no danger. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is. That's me who pops out of my window. Yes, there is. It's
construction. What's across the street from your house, Joe?
I like it's the mini mart that I go to.
Oh yes.
But I gotta say, there was just so much. It seemed to be so much happening around me that I'm trying to appreciate it for what it feels, is knowing that some statistical numbers are coming down.
You lost me in the middle of that sentence.
No, I'm saying I'm trying.
Though it is.
I'm trying to appreciate it for. I'm trying to appreciate.
Trying to be that there was when we were
here too.
Okay. What I mean to say is that I'm trying not to get angry about it, as in, don't you people know that this is not over? It's not over. Like we have to go for like another 2 weeks and then see how that goes. It's like, and I didn't want to get that angry about it. So I was just thinking, well, if they're doing it safely And if things are falling, then I hope nobody gets sick and people.
You can only control you.
And if people start to feel a little more normal, I keep kind of blindsiding myself to the mental health of some people that are like, if I can't get out, or if I don't go out, it's very debilitating, can be very damaging. And so I'm trying to appreciate that if anybody's out, they're doing it safely enough, and because for them it feels like the thing that they need to do for themselves, but to do it safely. So
well, I think that's the part where that's not true. They're doing it for themselves, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're doing it safely.
No, I know, and I'm hoping that it is. I'm trying to feel that I saw the majority of people masked. I didn't see anything that obviously made me feel like, oh man, fuck, people continue to fuck this up, which we've been talking about since we started redoing this podcast. But I did just feel like I just tried to let it be something that reminded me of, if we can keep our shit together. And granted, from day to day, I'm either, yeah, that can happen, or what the fuck, you can't trust anybody, and people are just gonna keep messing up. But today I just tried to make it something more about a hope that eventually, like by summer, because LA's getting about 500.
Sorry, what were you trying to make about a hope?
The fact that people are feeling good as a good sign, not a bad sign, right?
Okay. Things going on around me. People are trying to be safe, and at the same time, I hope aware of the fact of how close we are to the end of the tunnel. If we can just stay on track, and I just hope that happens enough, because they're getting enough they're getting like almost 500,000 vaccinations out a week in LA now. So
yeah, I just saw that they had 2.9 million over the course of a day yesterday. So
I mean, it's so they're.
But you know what it reminds me of is when you see those old clips, or not old, but within our lifetimes, of a guy running for a touchdown, and he's at like
he celebrates
30, the 20, the 10, and he slows down, and somebody slaps the ball out of his hand, and he doesn't get the fucking touchdown.
Yeah.
Because that is not the time to let up.
Right. Yeah, Joe, I don't want to.
I'm not saying I don't want people to let up. I'm just saying I let up on myself in terms, just me sitting in my own apartment. I agree. This is not the time to let up. That's what I'm saying. But I'm trying to, for myself. I realized if I don't go to an anger thing, I just experienced this, and that's why and I've talked about this on the show. I'm trying to cope with my anger, because that doesn't feel right to me, and it messes me up. And so I was like, I went outside, I saw all the people, and I've been seeing production, and they put the notice up in our building.
Random introductions.
There's a hustle and bustle. And I just was like,
get it pretty close to get in frame.
I was just like, you know what? Okay. If people are going on, the show must go on, then I hope they're doing it safely, and I wish the best for them. And I let up on myself in that way. That's all.
Joe, I don't want to cause damage or make you backslide, but I know, because you don't have a car, right?
Exactly, right. So I have seen very little of any outside.
I will say, for the past month, maybe longer,
right,
driving around is one of the most infuriating things you could possibly do, because you would have no visual clue that we were in a pandemic.
Oh my goodness! See, this is what I have. This is what I have not seen, and it's. I mean, I
would also say, if you had a car, it would make it easier to get back and forth to the mini mart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you'll see, like, every restaurant, there's people outside eating. They're clearly not wearing masks because they're eating. Like, there's line. Like,
in my neighborhood right now, Melrose and Fairfax, like, the lines for T-shirts. I mean, that tells you everything, but like, it just
lines for T-shirts. What does that mean?
Supreme, right? Like the.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it before, Sean.
Where they buy like sneakers, like high-end sneakers, and
like something's coming, something's being released,
right?
Limited edition athletic wear.
People get in
It's
line.
like, wait, people are waiting online for T-shirts?
Oh, not like Russia for a loaf of bread.
Right.
No, for
like,
T-shirts, like expensive T-shirts that are made of the same material as cheap ones.
Remember, like 3 months ago, there was a line in Hollywood for the Funko store. Those figurines, those Funko figurines. There was a line that went down like 2 blocks in Hollywood for these toys.
It's very aggravating, and obviously this is a bigger problem nationally because there are now states going, it's over. We can just open everything up 100%. Who cares? And it's such a mistake in every case.
Yeah.
It's such a huge mistake.
But to your point, Joe, about like the anger and the judgment, because I will say as eerie and creepy it was when everything was a ghost town.
Right.
You at least knew that everybody was taking it seriously.
That gave those first.
It gave me some like we're all in this together, and so now I'm still
like that.
I'm still taking it very seriously. I know a lot of people are, but we live in such a big city that my jaw always drops because I'm just like, how is this even fun to eat at a restaurant right now? Like, how is this enjoyable? I don't
know.
And I like eating out. Like,
hey, yeah, you're talking.
How can you detach from like?
I liked walking the streets of LA from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. on a regular basis. I liked being out, but I've understood that that's not something that can happen until finally I firmly, most confidently, and safely for everyone involved think the green light's been given. And the green light's not going to be given until everyone's mostly vaccinated. It's like we can't. Sean, you're absolutely right. We're that close to the. We can see the touchdown. We can see the fucking end zone, but it's like. I just have not. We're
not sticking the landing.
No. Well, we didn't stick the beginning. We didn't stick the middle.
We didn't stick the beginning.
Well,
this is not even a routine. This is just somebody flailing.
Yeah. It's there's like the longest blooper.
I'm not quite sure what's going on the floor exercises right now.
Ends up being a sad blooper where you just feel bad for the player.
I believe that's Joseph Wagner from the United States, and I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He's flopping around quite a bit.
That's a shame.
As I'm eating another Domino's pizza, the 1000th Domino's pizza I've ordered. I was going to say, Amber, I do feel like you reminded me though. There was the first week of lockdown. It did feel there was like a week. There was amount of time.
Yeah, I think it was a month.
Like, maybe close to a month then, where it felt like, this is happening. People are doing the thing that
I guess this is happening.
Well, it happens to be happening.
We decided to leave our house for the first time. I want to say in April-ish. Besides like walks around the neighborhood and grocery shopping, to go to a drive-in movie. And we do that actually a lot. That's sort of been a deemed safe outing. But we do have
a car, correct?
I do have a car, not to brag.
No, I just think it'd be weird to be going to drive-in movie if you didn't have a car.
Well, now I was going to say, if there's ever been a great time to hitchhike, it's now. Go ahead.
but the first time we went to that drive-in, because there's none in like LA proper.
Right.
So this one is you have to go.
You have to drive out a bit. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, we were on the freeway at 6 o'clock on a Saturday. And there was like one other car. I'm talking the 101 in Los Angeles. And there was something so it was wonderful to not be in traffic, but there was something unnerving of like, this isn't Los Angeles. This isn't my home. Anyway, point is there's traffic now every day. Like there's it feels like everything's back together. And to your point, Joe, like you could only control you. I don't know how worth it is to burn a lot of calories getting angry about other people's choices because there's nothing we can do.
I know.
I will also say that does not burn a lot of calories. Just that.
No, I'm not. I have not lost near the amount of weight I've put into.
If that burned calories, I would be a fucking rail.
You'd be a hat stand.
Well, don't you guys think though, like when it first started, we the first month, I feel like, and I might get in trouble from this from you guys, but like Joe, I think it might be safe for you to walk from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. Like a lot of, I feel like I've held on to a lot of things.
Shut your mouth, you son of a bitch.
Jamie, I have thought that. It has crossed my mind a couple times, not a lot, but I was like, if I really did want to go out for a walk,
that might be the safest time.
It's probably the safest time. Yeah. I tried to rationally think my way through, and I was like, yeah, maybe that wouldn't be so unsafe.
I go for a ton of walks. That's the only thing keeping me going. Well, I wear a mask and I cross the street if there's another person on. Like I try to stay to the most residential, like non-busy neighborhoods, but.
I'll be totally honest.
Like that's a safe thing to do. Am I crazy? We all have different boundaries, but you're also in a very populated downtown area.
I'll say this much, and I think this is. I'm glad we've done this podcast because I don't do any therapy, so I am trying to work some of this shit out.
We are not licensed. Like
no one's a licensed therapist here, but
I know
I'm not licensed. How does that make you feel, Joe?
Unsure.
Please don't sue us.
Unsure. I can honestly say at this point in almost 12, we're 12 months in. This is March. In a 2 week.
A week from today is when my company shut down.
I have developed. I'm honest. I'll be honest. I think I've developed a sort of an agoraphobia.
Sure.
I can feel it. I can sense that it's
fear of open spaces.
Fear of open spaces, and oftentimes, just going outside the door, just the
from the Greek agora, the marketplace.
But ironically, open spaces are much more safe than contained spaces.
Yeah, I mean, I really do think at this point, being outside is not completely safe, but I think there's very little evidence that people who are outside.
Here's the thing. What I think I want to work up to in the next.
By the way, I have no scientific background, so I'm just.
Well,
I read a headline on Twitter.
Yeah. They've only found a few of the cases have been the variant. I was actually reading about literally how many cases they've discovered in LA specifically of one of the new variants, and it wasn't very much. So it was less than they expected. So again, I read a lot of stuff that made it seem like statistically factually.
But also the variant means what?
It was a more transmissible. The main thing about it was that somehow they were seeing it was more transmissible.
Okay, but I'm saying and that means what to you?
That there was a chance that somebody who has that variant can give it to 4 people instead of 2 people.
I understand that transmissible means more people can get it. I'm saying, but then in other words, I feel like there's all this talk of the variant and the variant and the variant, but I don't think anybody's clear yet on what that ultimately means.
If more people get it, because what it all comes down to, all those things boil down to, if more people can get sick and more people do get sick, then it is a danger for everyone, for the public health at large, in terms of obviously what happens with the surges of the hospitalizations and hospitals reaching capacity. And LA went through that. We went through our crazy holiday spike where everyone from LA freaking flew around the world and came back, and we've gone through that. We went through that scary thing of, well, the hospitals are full. But we've actually come down from that. So, what
they're unfull.
They have reduced in attendance. So, I would say that
I don't know,
like a football game.
Sir, I have some good news. We have reduced in attendance. We have reduced in attendance.
Well, I'm just trying to, update. Like I've tried to just be more hopeful about things this week. So my mother and my aunt, I found this website to a health center that's set up a drive-through vaccination site near them. It's only about, I think, maybe a mile away, if that. It's very close by. My aunt heard from an elderly friend of hers who was vaccinated at the same place. And so she's had someone that she knows kind of vouch for it, at least tell her what it was like. And they called up and they got registered. But
awesome. That's the best.
But it was like, at least that one step, I was like, okay, but they're still waiting. They were told they're waiting now. This vaccination site is waiting on the next round.
Where are they?
They live in Glendale, which is a suburb of Phoenix.
I have a lot of family in Arizona, and every Friday I have a happy hour with them, and they've all gotten the first shot.
Right.
But I don't know if it's a Tucson versus Glendale thing.
No, I'll tell you what happened. I think my mom and my aunt had told me that through the Mayo Clinic health portal, because they're in that system of the Mayo Clinic hospital, that the Mayo Clinic was going to send them information on when they were starting to vaccinate.
Oh, they were waiting for them to tell them, you got to be proactive with this bad boy.
They were waiting, and then on February 8th, because I was like, I kept expecting to hear my mom and my aunt say, "Oh, we got this thing from the Mayo Clinic. They're doing this," and then it's weird. Sometimes time seems to fly so by. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks went by, and I go, what happened to the Mayo Clinic? And I go on Google, I look it up, and on February 8th, they put out this official statement that said, we're no longer vaccinating anymore because we're getting down to the end of the batch that's been given us. And so now you have to go through the city.
Like the normal way.
Yeah, like the city's setting it up.
See, this is why I've always hated Mayo.
Are you more of a Miracle Whip guy?
You also hate nanners.
So I told them, hey, the Mayo Clinic's not doing it anymore. I went to the Maricopa County site. I started to look things up. That's where I was trying to find a drive-through one. And then my aunt's friend mentioned this one to her, and I looked it up, and they're still doing it. They just they're just waiting. So anyway, they're registered, and they said as soon as they get it, they get the notification. So we're back in notification but this time I'm going to be a little more on top.
I think you have to be. I think Amber's right. I think this is the kind of thing where you have to really go out of your way to be pushy and look things up and email, and instead of taking just wait for an answer, you have to go, no, I don't want to wait. I want an answer,
Well, even my parents getting the vaccine in Mexico, they officially signed up for it online. But my mom saw on Facebook that somebody else got it by just showing up. So they got in the car and they went and they got it, and they were already on the approved list because they signed up ba. But if they had waited until the process that they were told originally, all of their friends haven't been vaccinated at the beach. And my mom is pissed because she's like, I told you, go get vaccinated. I want to hang out with you again.
Right.
But yeah, so it's just like a unfortunate, because it sort of goes against my instincts. But you have to be like every man for themselves, even though it's for the community. Ultimately, it's
and I'll tell you, I think there were a few things about my mother and my aunt and their age and their temperament where they don't. I think that they were a little hesitant about it. I think that general anxiety we talked about of people having, especially older ones, of putting themselves, getting anything injected in them. I think that was just in the back of both of their heads. But I think they also realize, and this is what you're right, Sean, like you got to stay on this shit as far as like kind of being proactive about it. And I was like, anything that they told me of like, hey, we're in the Mayo. No.
You mean when I agreed with Amber? Yeah. When I said I think Amber is right, yeah, that was
which originally began with Amber, which began with Amber. But staying on top, I
love being right.
The staying on top of it. I think that what in my mind, it mitigated that impulse was that I was like, well, I know they're not really. They don't go out, you know. I mean, like my mom has gone out a couple times, but they're being super, super, super safe. And so I realized I did start to think actually about how I'm going to push, but I'll also see what their pace is with this, because I did think like, oh, I should be kind of very encouraging of, you know, I should be, you know, I don't want to say push, but like reminding them and stuff. And then I realized that I had done it enough and that I kind of let them take over. And that actually seemed to work, where it's like, now they've signed up and they're supposed to get, and I will remind them if that doesn't happen in this coming week, then I said, okay, well, we'll check. We need to check in and see what's happening, you know? So that felt a lot better. And again, it just was something that seemed to lighten that heaviness over the week. And I'll wrap up by saying yesterday was my aunt's birthday. Gloria turned 84. We had a Zoom birthday breakfast, which was fun. And I explained to them, I never thought this would happen, and over Zoom, Gloria had told me a joke. We'd still do the thing where we tell each other jokes in Spanish. Okay. She had told me a joke that was this long joke where a wife keeps saying the wrong thing, and the husband to the police officer, and the husband has to sit there and not say anything. And so Gloria tells
why does the husband not say anything if she's saying
why are they talking to a police officer?
Okay, yeah. I didn't set up the joke. I did the thing where you don't say what's the joke.
Did they get pulled over?
Tell us the punchline.
The man is stopped by the cops, and everything the cop asks, the woman gives way too much information, and so the man is just sitting there getting angrier and angrier.
So he stopped. Why was he speeding?
I believe he was speeding. Yes. So it turns out that she goes at the end. He goes, does the husband explodes on her, and the cop says, does he talk to you like this every day? And she goes, no, only when he's drunk. Bam, punchline. Only when he's drunk.
So he was drinking and driving.
Yeah, only when he's drunk. And so that's the punchline, right? Because the guy exploded on her. But for the whole length of the joke, he's holding it in. So I explained to my mom and my aunt yesterday did they do a breathalyzer? Did they do any kind of testing? No, this was pre-breathalyzer.
So he had to like walk and say the alphabet backwards and stuff?
They didn't even get out the car. Boom, he's drunk. So I explained to them what a slow burn is.
How do you say that in Spanish?
Well, I guess it would be quemada despacio. And so I explained to them what a slow burn was, and then I did it for them on the Zoom, and they both laughed, and I was like, because I just did enough with my eyes of that, doing a slow burn, that they both laughed. And I was like, I will treasure any moment where I can make the two of them laugh. Because in my mind, comedically, I'm so far from them, like things that I think of or whatever, disgusting tweets at 2 a.m. But
no.
But when just to do a slow burn for them and to get a laugh on her birthday, I just was like, okay, you know what?
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Use this stuff, keep it going. And that's it.
The way your mind works is more like knock, knock, who's there? A drunk guy yelling at his wife who just got pulled over. Like you just get to it right there, as opposed to like the setup and what kind of car was he driving?
And the man is masturbating, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I was not going to go there, but yes, I'm sure that's where
dick and balls. We've touched on them before.
Oh, yes, we have.
I'm sure you have.
We have.
Don't go ASMR on us.
We certainly have. I feel like we could probably rename this show Joe's relationship with his aunt and mother at this point. Like it's mostly what the show is about these days.
It's the heart of the show,
which we'll get to in parting shots.
I thought, Sean, that you might say something like that because I have touched on a handful of things over this, but the same handful of things over this recording of this new 2.0 long shot, and it's because this is the thing. There are four things. There are four things that are happening right now. I talk to my family every day. I write with my writing partner every day. I watch shit every day, and I sleep. Those are the four things that happen. So and little.
What about the mini mart?
It's the first.
And little things sprinkled throughout, which I am hoping are enough to constitute a checking in that isn't my family or that isn't the script.
Right.
But I will say this: it feels great to be that much closer to my family, and I'm happy to share it with people. If you're someone like me, who there have been years where I just feel so ashamed, and that keeps me from them, that isolates me from them, and I've really felt like I've turned a corner with that recently, definitely in the last year, and it feels really good.
Do you think you might turn another corner at some point?
I hope one where
come all the way around the block and back to 942 Shame Avenue
in a car, yes. In my own car again, yes. It would be nice I was thinking about getting a car before this hit. I mean, really, it was the beginning.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was thinking I wanted to start 2020 differently, and I was like, I've had cars before. I've loved driving in LA. I did it for like almost 15 years. I would like to do that again. I've lived enough of this freaking pedestrian life, and it's been great, but I'd like to change it. And then all this happened. So if that is something that I could start a feeling safe about being outside again, I think maybe that's something to think about. So
onward and upward. All right. Well, let's check in. Let's find out what's going on with Amber. Amber?
Oh, wow.
Checking in.
Whoa.
With Amber.
What a pleasure. This is wow. I saw this coming.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you for coming. It sucks because if I'm at all expressive, I'm not on stage anymore.
All right.
So
it's a very tight frame on you.
Yes,
it's a very tight.
It's a close up.
It is. This is for the Academy Awards. Here we go.
So my biggest news, my checking in, is Jeff and I got his and her
married.
We did get married
again.
We're almost at 2 years. Our anniversary is at the end of the month.
Hells yeah.
But we got his and hers desks. So I'm on his new desk right now. It's great. But for the past year, he has like a 12-year-old piece of shit IKEA desk, and I was working on the kitchen table. And for my work, a lot of it is visual. So I have a full monitor. It's a permanent setup, even though
you guys are not having dinner at the kitchen table every night.
Never.
That's your office.
In fact, that's the point I'm making, is that there was one day
Jeff
that,
and the super hacker.
well, there was a night. Time is whatever. It might have been
February 8th.
So it might, yeah, who knows? But he was like, "Oh, let's have this meal at the table." And I sat down and I went, "Nope, like it feels like I'm at my office. I can't I can't do it. It doesn't feel good. I have, especially then in the old apartment, I had so little separation from my work and the rest of my life that like I had to create that teeny tiny boundary. And it's like, okay, we eat our meals on our laps on the couch in the living room. That's what we do.
And Amber, you specifically, this was dinner that you said? Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Dinner, if you're eating dinner at work, that's not a good sign.
No.
That means you're still at work.
Yeah. And your
that's
body,
that vibe you get.
Yeah. No, and your body doesn't. It was hard enough on stressful days for me to shake off work, honestly, because there was no like closing the door of my office. There was no driving away. Like I was still physically in the space that I was in during.
I feel like I'm trying to write another song right now. It's not working, but I'm writing another song, and it's sort of like I know an old. No. I know an old lady who swallowed a fly, but it's about you and Jeff eating, and it's like we eat our food on our laps. We eat our food on our laps on the couch. We eat our food on our laps on the couch in the living. Like it's just like
right.
This is not the workplace that is 10 feet away.
10 feet if you're lucky. Are you kidding me? We're talking 3 feet.
Amber, as soon as I said 10, I was like, I'm going way too big.
Yeah, that was shooting for the moon.
But you know what? In my mind, the way you've talked about the new place, it's like...
Oh, it's a freaking mansion. Are you kidding me?
It's a mansion. You made it. You made it.
But all of that said, so in this new place, I was still working off the dining room table because I didn't have any other furniture. And I
like how you upgraded to the dining room in the new place, not the kitchen.
Well, it's yeah. Wait, what?
You took
I'm
over.
Just saying, in the other place, you were like, I was working at the kitchen table, and now you're like, I'm
right. Well, we have a dining room now because we're in a mansion.
Great, it's an upgrade. Yeah.
You promoted yourself.
Yeah.
To the dining room.
I'm still working at the dining room table. Wait, the dining room? That's different.
Yeah.
Jeff's like, when can I get the privileges to the executive washroom? Amber's got the keys.
So, moving into this new place, I don't know if any of this will make sense, but I'm still going to try to communicate it. We put the dining room table in the dining room, and I set up my workstation. And the way the apartment is, it felt like my office was the largest room in the house.
Nice.
I hated it.
Go, girl.
Like, no, you get boo. Oh, no, you guys are getting it wrong.
No, I thought it was go, girl. Go, girl.
Good job, Ms. Chairwoman.
No, because when I'm off of work,
you've come a long way, baby.
At 7 or on the weekends,
glass ceiling.
Like I'm just walking through my office all day long. So I didn't love it. That lasted maybe a week, and we call it. You don't have the corner.
You don't have the corner office. You have the office in the middle of the place.
Right. Yeah. So we call it the Nook. I have no idea what it was actually designed for in the apartment, but off the dining room, there's just like no other way to describe it. So it's a carpeted. The dining room has the laminate floors, but there's just like a closet, but it's big and it's carpeted, and you can fit into it.
I love a Nook. I love.
Hey, it's Jamie Flam, everybody.
I'm back. You start talking about Nooks. I got
with the Nook report.
I thought that was just a picture of you this whole time.
I'm very zen.
That's good.
Amber is is alcove maybe a word?
Yeah, but smaller. Like Nook. It's a Nook. Right. It is nothing.
It's a Nook, but it's not a cranny. It's not just a cranny.
No, it's not a cranny, but it is a Nook.
More than a recess.
It's between a recess and a Nook, I would say.
Oh, interesting.
So what I did, because I was sick of feeling like we moved into this mansion just for it to be my work. Like that isn't the point. The point was I wanted to have work-life balance. I wanted to not be at work sometimes. So I took the dining room table and I shoved it into the Nook. And
broke the wall.
And that's where I've been working. So I wish that I guess I could bring this over there and show you.
Do it.
So okay.
Look,
I can't believe that picture of Jamie is talking.
He likes Nooks, and he wants to stay in the Nook.
So, but I would work all day, and there was a dining room behind me that had zero furniture. It looked like a dance studio because I was on the one piece of dining room furniture as my office.
It sounds like your job is a classic no-win situation.
I guess.
With a dance studio next to it.
Point is, last Saturday, maybe it was Sunday, I don't know.
February 8th.
We got his and her desk. We walked to the corner. There's a used furniture store.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit claustrophobic in there. But they have
even without the pandemic precautions.
Right.
Such great finds though in those tiny little places.
So
they're almost nooks of stores.
So we the guy was like, "What are you looking for?" And we said a desk or maybe a dining room table, because it's like whichever one we could find. We need both.
Honey, I got people outside. They're very fucking confused. They don't know if they're looking for a desk or a dining room table.
And he said, and who knows if he's just like the world's best salesman, but it makes sense. He said that desks go real fast right now because so many people are working from home and are like
their own home offices.
Yes, and they're working on their home office.
I got a couple desks here. If I were you, I'd snap them up.
And that is exactly. He had 2 desks in the entire store. One was an old Dutch built desk. It's beautiful.
Silly Dutch.
And he said that he was going to. He had a price for it, but he was also gonna refurbish it, and the price would be much higher once he refurbished it. And then they also do custom furniture. So he had this custom mid-century modern desk that he showed it to us. And Jeff, like, instantly his jaw dropped and was like, it's so beautiful. And he's like, I made this custom for someone and they canceled recently. So it's up for grabs. So we went for a walk to talk about it. Jeff wasn't even.
Can I talk to you outside for a second?
Well, yeah, exactly. Jeff wasn't even really in the market for.
Let me tell you something. You know what? There's never going to be a shortage of dining room tables. You're always going to get. I don't know if you know about economics, but in terms of furniture,
well, and their value just goes up.
Hey, look, I know I'm wearing it. I know I'm wearing a T-shirt that says "World's Greatest Salesman," but don't let that sway you.
But so Jeff was like. And I could tell he was in love with this desk. He just was like gaga for it.
Right.
And so he was like, oh,
did he hump it?
No, he didn't hump it. But he wasn't in the market for a desk, but he also was like, I also am a grown-up who works all day long at home. It would be nice to have a desk.
Did he say that with a Dutch accent by any chance?
No.
I also am a grown-up who works at home.
But he was like, oh, and I said, let's get both, because then the dining room table can now be a dining room table. Like it's a game of dominoes. It instantly ups both of our quality of life.
Oh, yes.
So let's do it. Yes. And then he's like, oh, which one of us gets the mid-century modern? I'm like, you love it. Obviously you. It's fine.
We're not going to flip for it, are we?
But so the guy was really nice. He came and delivered them in a truck because they'd be too heavy. But I mean, when I say it's a block away, it is literally a block away.
Okay, I got your desks here. Also, just as you know, I know you says he was looking for a dining room tables, and I got 6 of them in here that I don't want to drive all the way back to the store. And this one's an antique, which means it's very old. This one's very new, and I'm going to have to strip this one. So if I don't strip it, it saves me money, and I'd love to pass that savings on to you.
Exactly.
So anyway, point is we got
who's watching in the store.
But so getting these 2 desks, I can't believe I'm talking about getting 2 desks for this long, but it has been such an incredible improvement in my life, because also my dining room tables are not desks. So it wasn't just like, it was too wide for the nook, so I would be like
jutting out,
and it would be like hard to get things. I had no drawer, so if I had like a day where there was like a lot of notes, or it was just chaos and it looked like crap.
You were more at a vertical than at a horizontal.
Exactly. And so now I'm deeper into the nook because I'm closer to the wall. And
possible episode title.
And I have drawers so I could like put away my craziness when I'm not working. It doesn't have to be constant reminder of work. And we have a dining room table, which was my desk for the past year. But I kid you not, we ate our first meal at the table on Sunday, and it felt like we were on vacation. Like it has been so long since we had a meal in a chair at a table. It really is the small things. So yeah, it's very exciting. We could like do a puzzle, we could do a board game, like there's a lot.
I love that the both of you wore Lay's too. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yes.
So and you finally had a meal at the dining room table.
What did you eat? What did you eat? We love food talk. If you're new to the show, we love to talk food.
I really don't agree, but you know.
I don't remember.
You gotta remember.
I don't remember. Oh, that's another part of my checking in. So all last episode, it was about how bad my memory is. And I told a story about being on a sketch team with Michael Gabriel. And I called that team Super Kudzu. It was not. It was Thriller. I'm so sorry. Redactions. Apologies.
It was Thriller.
That shit blew up on Reddit all week.
You got
so I'm canceled. Yeah.
People were furious.
The corrections
of my own life. But yeah.
So you're happy with your desk purchases?
Yes.
And the furniture rearrangement?
Yeah. And it instantly, again, I was starting to get antsy because we moved in and we at first were real motivated and we were like putting up art, and then we got tired and we got busy with work, and I was like, I don't want to have lived here 6 months and have like an empty room behind me and just this one, I guess,
says the person
purchase. Instantly it looks more like a house. Like you open the door and you don't see the living room and an empty room. You see the living room and a dining room. Like it looks like human beings live there, and it makes me really happy.
This place feels crowded. Like as soon as you walk in, there's the living room and then the dining room.
We had a fruit bowl in the kitchen because I was like, now we just have a table. So I was like, I'm bringing the fruit bowl in as the centerpiece. But
is there fruit in the fruit bowl?
There is, yeah. There's a dragon fruit because I when we first put the fruit bowl on.
Answer honestly and directly.
When we first put the fruit bowl on the table, and what's this wee stuff? I did. It was late in the week. Jeff goes grocery shopping on Tuesdays. I'm a spoiled brat. I don't go grocery shopping. I haven't in a year. I don't leave the house. I'm very lucky. I understand this. I am privileged, like so much. I am the luckiest person in the world.
You don't go grocery shopping. You got a nook.
I know. Who am I? The 1%?
Amber's like, don't cancel me twice.
But so it was like, Sunday or Monday. So our groceries were depleting. And so I think in the fruit bowl there was like 2 garlic bulbs and like a lime. And so I was like, he's like, I'm going to have to get a lot of fruit. And he came back with like bananas, a dragon fruit, like all just so it looks good on my Zoom because it's behind me while I'm at work all day long when I'm in meetings.
Fullness, abundance.
Mm-hmm. But we have to eat the dragon fruit probably tomorrow. And
you have to slay the dragon fruit.
Yes. Oh, but one of the meals, he also cooks most of the dinners. I am a fucking garbage person. I don't know how I got so lucky. One of the meals he cooked, he's like, oh no. Well, as we were eating it, he's like, I forgot to put garlic in because it was.
We got some in the fruit bowl. We got a fruit bowl.
Yeah, it was in the fruit bowl. I forgot to put the garlic in. So we have to figure that out.
Have you guys ever heard of stone fruit?
Mm-hmm. Peaches, plums, apricots.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was a family.
What's going on? What were you thinking?
I'd never heard the term stone fruit before like maybe 2 months ago.
And it's fruit that has a stone in the middle.
Oh.
A stone? A pit is a stone?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry about poetic language.
By the way,
I don't know what kind of apricots you're eating, but mine have rocks in the middle of them.
Wild. Okay, I never thought about what a pit was. I mean, it's a seed. I guess it is fun to say stone. I don't know. It's come up since I've heard of this term like every other day.
Interesting. Where? How?
Conversations, television programs, reading.
It's Jamie every time. Like he's just going to bus stops and going, hey, I see you're waiting for the bus. You ever heard of stone fruit?
Check out Jamie.
Please. I'm just trying to get to work.
Check out Jamie's TikToks where he harasses people in public.
You heard of stone fruit?
More like stoned fruit.
Yeah.
Amber.
I see you guys are selling desks and dining room tables. You ever heard of stone fruit?
I'm gonna refurbish
very
this.
claustrophobic. If you could step outside, that would be great.
Sure. Okay.
Hey,
just asking a question here.
I'm gonna refurbish this stone fruit. It's gonna cost a lot more.
Amber, either you.
It's just gonna be fruit after that.
I'm gonna polish it
off. Amber, either you or Jeff had posted on Instagram the desk or
Jeff
desk.
Did. Yes,
he
loves his desk.
I loved it. I liked the post. There's a heart symbol, and I clicked on it to make it.
Sure.
But also,
hi folks, welcome to the Long Shot, where we explain how Instagram works.
But I also he posted the place, and now I'm following the mid-century modern store.
They're great. Great. I'm happy.
All right. Anything else, Amber, about checking in stuff?
No. Thriller was the sketch team. Wait, also, could I talk about my memory stuff real quick?
Yeah.
Because I
by the way, I don't remember talking about that last week.
Okay. So. Are you being funny or
I'm not.
Okay.
As usual.
It was a big thing where we both talked about how there's like entire people from our past that we don't
Oh, yes. That I do remember.
And so I completely honest, real talk, after we podcasted, I was fucked up. I didn't feel great about myself or my brain. And I was like upset about it. And I was talking to Jeff about it. And he made me feel a lot better because I remember.
Meanwhile, he was cooking dinner, washing the car, doing the laundry. Yeah.
I was eating bonbons.
Go on, honey. Go on.
He is great. He's wonderful.
He's fanning you.
Feeding me grapes. The fact is, I remember, oh God, maybe this is worse. I don't know if I'm making it better or worse, but like, I remember it's not like I forget my friends. I remember all my dear friends.
Yeah.
I think it's just, I've met so many people in comedy and in life that it's just like, my brain only holds so much space. So if you weren't someone who was like tremendously important to me, sorry, we're at max capacity.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit the bricks.
Are you muted, Joe?
Yeah, your mouth is moving.
I mean, either way, I'm fine with it.
I heard that.
Oops, I thought mutes worked both ways.
My foot.
Wait, mirror.
My foot hit the mute button.
How's that? What is your arrangement?
I have so many more questions.
Joe's setup is like a piano. Like he has different pedals that do things.
But anyway, I'm not worried about my brain anymore. I'm fine. But I was kind of messed up about it last
I think you're absolutely right. It's like there's levels of importance, you know? And if somebody is important, then you're going to remember that person. And if they're not as important.
So your feelings should be hurt if I don't remember you.
Yes. Who's talking again?
If you don't make it about yourself, your feelings should be okay. Just don't make it about yourself. It's not personal.
But also, I mean, you were making excuses. You were making excuses for me last week, and I think they were kind of true. Of like, you just were in the middle of a bunch of other shit. Your life was going on, you know,
right?
And everybody has a different level of. Everybody has a different level of connection to everybody else, you know. So you might have a friend who was like, "We were all best friends," and you're like, I don't even remember that guy.
Yeah, I know. But that's what makes me feel horrible.
Was there an incident, or just in general?
Yes, there was.
No, my friend. I don't want to talk about what.
Go listen to last week's episode, Jamie.
Okay.
My friend Tim always makes fun of me because he'll be like, "Oh, do you know who got COVID?" And he'll say a name, and I'm like, "Who is that?" Like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, what setting would that be from?
That sounds like someone who got COVID. You know, I'm going to blow smoke up everybody's asses right now. I think the three of you are unforgettable. I'll put it that way. Unforgettable.
That was the name of my, I think, graduating class.
I just blew a smoke ring with my asshole. And another one.
You're ready for one of those new talent shows on like TV. Go big.
I bet there's people who can do that. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we will come back and we will do some more of what we like to call the first segment on the show that we like to call checking in. So we'll be right back.
Aaron, look up blow smoke rings out your ass.
Bye.
Break. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Sean. Now, usually at this point in the show, I tell you to please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes because that is so helpful to us in our rankings of podcasts. I believe we cracked the top 400,000 last week. So if you could just do that for us, that would be great. But I'm not going to do that today. What I am going to do is say that if you have questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, advice, or just noodling, send that to mailbag@thelongshotpodcast.com. That is our mailbag address. It's literally in the name. It says mailbag@thelongshotpodcast.com. So hit us up. We will read your email, most likely on the show. And, depending on content and appropriateness. And it would just be fun to hear from people. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right. Well, we like to do a thing we call checking in. Jamie Flam, who's been away for a while, even well, he's been here, honestly. What's been going on?
I've just been enjoying the conversation. And sometimes that might be taking a back seat as far as chiming in.
I think we want to know what you've been doing while you're not.
Right. I do have a kind of a exciting visual presentation to make.
Are you talking about the fact that you're wearing a weird hat right now?
It's just a beanie.
No, you look like you have stuff on coming out of the top of it.
like a jester's hat. It's the
like that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, not unattached. Check this out, guys.
What? Wow.
What is it?
It's my new Govee light bulb.
Jamie has colored lights, all different.
This is some
lights.
fucking great podcasting. What's been going on with Jamie is that the lights are changing shades here in this audio medium.
Well, okay. Now that we have a vibe,
it's actually it's a lavender.
I would call it just I don't know what I would call it. It seems a little too dark for lavender, or a little too.
There's a gradation.
Purple.
I guess there is a gradation, and part of it's lavender.
There's some magenta highlights.
There are some magenta highlights, yeah.
Lavender plum.
Yeah,
stone fruit.
Stone fruity. It's a little stone fruity. If you ask me, it's a little.
You guys, excuse me. You ever heard of stone fruit? Because I got a purple plum lavender.
I'm actually in my nook that I think I've been talking about for the last, whenever I was here last, but I haven't actually done a podcast from here yet. So I'm in my little
podcasting nook.
Yeah. So I think that, and I am propped up and I'm more comfortable than I think I've been physically while recording.
How close are you to your microphone?
It's right here. It's
because it sounds not great.
Really?
Bring it closer and see what happens.
Better?
I mean, no.
There is
but I do think because this is an audio medium, as I mentioned, we do need to be conscious of that. You know,
that the sound is good.
Yeah, I think it's a nice bonus for people if the sound is okay.
It is a bonus.
Jamie, yeah, just put it a little higher up. Put it on something.
Put a book underneath it.
Put a book on it. Yeah, something. Stack
it's like
it up.
right in between my legs.
See, that sounds way better.
That's way better. What you just did.
Better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. How about now?
It's interesting to do the sound check an hour into the episode.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I actually was talking a lot that first hour.
I was the most unprofessional band. We stop in the middle of the show.
That's funny.
We're gonna pull back the curtain.
No, I mean, I do think we have a certain obligation to sound halfway decent, you know?
So. This actually brings up one of the things I want to talk about, which is, as far as sound checks go, I got these today.
Whatever you did just blew out your microphone.
Really?
Yes. Your microphone was like, I don't want to hear drumsticks being beaten together.
Sticks.
Very rock and roll, Jamie. You blew out the mic.
Clap and then
yeah, you hit it once and then your mic just cut.
Like, better.
I love
better.
I love how Jamie's mic edits the show.
Seriously, please stop doing that because it just seems absurd that we've been doing this for 47 years and we're still in the middle of an episode going, what happened to the sound?
I didn't touch it. I have a mic that I paid a lot of money for.
You sound good. Right now.
Did you get it from the world's greatest salesman at the furniture store? Because
if he's working a couple of jobs, and better. One of them is okay.
Jamie, go with it. What's been happening?
You got drumsticks.
This was
this happened again. You hit the sticks
or
once,
are you not
and the mic
hitting
cut
them
out.
together?
I am hitting them together, but like
that is wild because you can't hear it.
It's like we all suddenly go deaf.
It's your mic is set up in such a way, and I think this is good, that when there is a loud, sharp sound, it goes
to
no,
sleep.
thank you.
I think that's called a noise gate. That might be a noise gate. Well, anyway, I got a couple sticks here. We got a drum set at the theater. I just got.
Is it set up? Does it have the frame now? The skeleton or whatever?
We got the drum heads and started putting those in.
Is the drum skeleton?
No, because at one point you said you had the drums, but not like the.
Yes, good memory. Yeah, we had the.
Right.
Does not have a good memory, by the way. Just that
frames, right?
No, I do. That's what's so.
Oh, but I said
you're making choices about to remember what Jamie said about a skeleton involving drums versus people you were best friends with in college.
And sketch teams I was on. Not that long ago.
Super Kudzu, everybody.
No, Thriller.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead, Jamie. So you got some drumsticks.
So we made progress. The drum set still needs more work, but we got all the hardware. So there's like the
Have you played in the theater, Jamie? Have you just hit the skins in the theater? Have you just
Today I learned how to do a flam, which is the name of a drum rudiment called a flam.
Is that real?
What?
I don't know if you guys remember the one tattoo I ever got, but that's I'm so uncoordinated. I can't figure out where to get.
Is that flam in Hebrew?
No, it's the flam. It's like a music thing. Oh. God, I can't figure out how to show you. But anyway, it's a drum rudiment called a flam.
What about straight this way?
Welcome to the long shot, where we can neither understand audio equipment or video equipment. We don't know how microphones or cameras work.
The longest running, most ignorant podcast out there.
Most ignorant.
I wouldn't say we're the most ignorant.
Ignorantest.
Right.
So you learned how to do the thing you got tattooed on your body.
The flam.
Yes, a flam. It's and I learned how the basics of how to hold a drumstick. And I got a drum key is what it's called. I learned how to tune a drum.
Wow.
And then this is just a home pad so I can practice at home. So
that's cool.
That's my last 2 weeks, my friends. Now let's talk politics. Just kidding. What else is up? I do overall.
Welcome back, baby. Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
I'm feeling more energy than I felt in a long time.
You are exuding energy.
I've been sleeping. I mean, as long as I've known you, like, and I've had it's been a roller coaster, but I can't remember a longer span.
I will say I've also been sleeping as long as I've known you. So
that's good.
We're even.
Sean may have been asleep 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like I'm waking up early and just getting into my day. I'm like less drugs required to. No, that's not good. My energy is going down now.
For the listener, Amber has put on the 3 Z's filter coming from her head.
What else is going on? We shot a little mini special at the theater last week.
Whoa!
Monday.
Production. See, it's happening everywhere.
It's a production where it was. We filled the audience with puppets from the Bob Baker Marionette Theater, which is one of my favorite places and was magical. We had a handful of comics do sets, and it went really well. Troy Conrad shot it, and he did a great job. But I bring it up just because, oh my God, the energy. Even like when Amber and Jeff came, just being at the theater at all right now and having people there, it's just like exciting to me. But this was like, okay, this was a big step. And we had a COVID officer, so everyone was getting tested before they came in. It was taking all the precautions. But right. Even with that, it felt like, and I get Joe, I mean, everything you were talking about at the start, it is a really confusing time. And I'm like, I am compelled to like, just say, fuck it all. And I'm not going to, but the energy I feel in the city right now is, and including just people I know, I feel people with the vaccinations, like, so it's like frustrating to feel like we're on the cusp of this big thing, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I've been at the theater a lot more. I went there this morning to get the drum lesson and to do that stuff, but just feeling just the energy of the world starting to shift. And so I'm feeling overall good. My parents got a pool table.
They got what?
They got a pool table yesterday. Which, why not talk about it? I don't know. I kind of threw it as a thing because it's like inconsequential, but it's not. My dad needs shit to do. And
is he retired now?
Basically, yeah, he's retired. It's a fun fact about my dad because he's, never someone that did drugs or like, he's a straight shooting. Square. He's just kind of a square. My parents, I don't think of him as like typical squares.
Hey, it's hip to be square, okay?
But he had like a period in his life, and he tells this story where I wouldn't say it was a pool hustler, but like he went to the pool hall, like on Hazeltine and like somewhere like right in the middle of Sherman Oaks, and he had his own like 2-piece pool cue, and he was good. I have a trophy of his from pool. Like he played in tournaments.
That's cool.
And he got really good. And he's telling me the story, and I feel like there's a missing detail of it. But he told me again a couple of days ago where he's like,
he killed a man.
Right.
He killed a man with a pool stick. But where he walked into the pool hall with his 2-piece thing, left the pool
cue. It's called
cue
a cue.
there. He left the cue there, and someone like came up after him. I think in the story it's like the best guy, the best pool player at the hall, and he came up after him and was like, said Frank or Jack or whatever he was calling him. You left your cue here, and he turns around and say, "I'm done with this for now. I'm done with my pool days are over," or something.
Whoa.
And he said, like, he just knew.
Yeah, there's definitely something in the story missing.
Your father gave up his joy,
but also very dramatically, and like like to leave his cue there in like a dramatic fashion.
Look, I saw my cue in the hands of Minnesota Fats, and I said to myself, I'm never going to be Minnesota Fats. I might be the inspiration for Tom Cruise's character in The Color of Money, but
you might say, Jamie, my cue was the cue. Exit stage left.
That's good. So yeah, he's telling the story, but he's like he knew in his like it was not serving him anymore, and he was right before he took over my dad his dad's shop.
Frank, Jack, whatever you're calling yourself, this is your cue.
Hey, Jamie.
Yes, it is. No, I mean this is your cue. No. I'm saying it is my cue.
Yes.
No, but literally, here's your cue.
Jamie, can you fill me in real quick on the Frank Jack thing? I don't know this.
His first name is Frank.
Okay.
His middle name is Jack, but his dad called him Jack.
Gotcha.
And his mom called him Frank. And then when he started working for my dad at the locksmith shop, everyone in his
Jack.
Work world, everyone in the locksmith world, he was Jack. And then at home he was Frank. And so his friends, like even like our family friends growing up and people he met, like they would always be like, if they popped in the shop or like certain people were in like the same room together, people would be calling him a different name. And I'd be like, so why are they calling you Jack? What does that mean? So there are always 2 birthday cakes.
That's my cue. No. That's my cue. That is my cue.
I know the story about Frank. I don't know the one about Jack.
That's my Frank. What? Jack.
What does he go by now?
Mostly Frank.
Okay.
Or Dad.
Or Jack.
Or Jack. He still gets Jack from some people, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, it was they got a pool table and it was delivered, and it's weird. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen pictures, but it's like the house I grew up in wasn't a pool table house. And now there's a big room with a pool table on it that we can eat dinner on. Okay. Stone fruit. It's funny, Amber. I sold my dining room table last month. I just got rid of it because I never eat on
OfferUp.
On OfferUp, it was the one thing I've ever sold on OfferUp, and now my dining room table, which was my desk, is now in the dining room area, but as a desk still.
A dining room table is not a desk.
Sean doesn't say good dining room table at the top of the show. He says good desk at the top of the show.
Yeah, which I thought was that was like the last segment was a good desk.
Oh.
Finally, the fucking branding pays off. 10 years later, the branding pays off.
It's like that curve of justice that Martin Luther King was talking about.
Yes.
Curves
towards pool tables. Yeah. What else, Jamie? So you got a pool table. Are you a pool player at all?
Not very good at it. Although I do have a quick story that I hadn't thought about. That's not really a story, but maybe I've told you.
Sounds great. Keep going.
When I was I think probably 14, the Wonder Years was the biggest show. I'm sure I've told a version of this story before. But the Wonder Years was like on, and I'm obsessed with that show. Kevin Arnold and Paul and
Winnie.
You just wanted to get by with a little help from your friends.
Yes, exactly. And one, it was 4th of July, and one of my parents, some contractor they worked with, invited us over to go for a swimming pool party. And we knew that like his wife was like the aunt of Fred Savage or someone.
And Ben Savage.
And Ben Savage, who was, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. But,
and Joffrey Savage.
No spoilers, please.
So we already had a clue. Like my mom's like, it's possible. Like, you know, these.
She was also the next door neighbor of Phil Bliggins, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
So we get to this little pool party in the backyard, and it's like Fred Savage and Ben Savage, who I didn't know at the time would be such a pivotal.
Jamie, would you say all the Savages were there?
I think I would say all the Savages were there. Right. Plus Paul, whose name is Josh Saviano. And
that's right.
It was just, you know, the kind of a very, you know,
it was typical, your fucking dream come true.
It was my dream come true. I was definitely at that age still where I'm still in acting camp and still think that you know, this is the connect. Like, I don't know. It was already like, I think it's an LA
this
thing.
This is it. I'm going to talk to them.
Josh Saviano, here's my headshot, baby.
Jamie, did you keep doing like cannonballs right in front of them?
No. Oh, that's a good.
To show off. Look at me.
I might have already been at the age where I was like too self-conscious to go in a pool, which is really sad.
That is really sad.
14. Yeah, that might have been the sweet spot for like, I don't want to take my shirt off in front of Savage. Which I think actually leads into, so inside the house there was a pool table, and that's where I got to kind of warm up to Josh Saviano. And I remember specifically it was just me and him playing pool and like just us small talking, just two kids. And I'm sure I was telling him about the Beatles and how I love the Beatles, and I thought, because I mean that was the most obsessive.
You ever heard of the Beatles?
Look, I'll tell you what. You sink this 8-ball, you win. I sink it. We give each other hand jobs. Yes? No? Okay.
I was not aware of a hand job at that point.
If this turned into Jamie's first sexual experience.
That's all I remember. It was just playing like pool with one of the kids from the show that I loved. And
Who won?
I did. It was a couple of really sweet shots, unexpected
that might have been a Hollywood mistake, Jamie.
Yeah.
You gotta let Josh Saviano win, bro.
How did you play it? Did you play it like I'm a big fan, or did you pretend like, oh, it's nice to meet you, stranger? Like,
I think I was.
We all got different lives. I don't know what you do. You don't know what I do. Let's just play some fucking pool.
Jamie's I'm assuming you go to school.
No, but like
family life.
Jamie's like, you come to this pool hall often, kid?
That's my cue. Dad?
Father?
So, yeah, I think I played it cool. Like I didn't say like
I don't even own a TV.
I guarantee you did not. But yeah.
Hey, cool enough for a kid who doesn't want to get into the pool.
Right.
Well,
Bill got into some pool.
This is my idea of a pool party, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I never thought about like
pool
alternative pool parties. But yeah, anyway, but it didn't spark us anything that was able to kind of last beyond that day. And you know, I don't know if we did much acting beyond that show, but it was
that's Hollywood, baby.
I'm sure you've seen these. I'm not sure you've seen these, but people have posted on social media. It's like the Wonder Years came out in like it was 20 less than 20 years for a show depicting less than 20 years earlier.
What is happening right now?
So
I know what he's trying to say.
I do too, unfortunately. Yeah.
So you have seen it, and I was right about that. But yeah, if you were to make that show today, you were talking about like 2003 or something.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, here's the thing about that is I got a little upset by that this week. Not really upset, but I have a friend who already just dwells on the past all the time, who's always about what about the show that came out in the 60s? What about anybody remember this actor from the 1970s? All that stuff. And they said something about that thing, whatever that was. It was, if the Wonder Years came out today, it would be taking place in 2017. That's how long ago it was, And then it just set off a jag of people sending messages, people I knew sending messages of like, this is how long ago. And it just irritated the shit out of me because the point they were making, and somebody actually said this, was we are so fucking old. And I was like, what is wrong with you guys? Live your fucking lives. Your life is not over. Exist now. This is the thing, So anyway, I was like, if Jesus was born this past Christmas, today we'd be in one,
You're like
I think they didn't get that I was just making.
And they're like, "Oh wow, that's
said that."
Oh yeah, another weird fact.
That I was just being completely contemptuous of the whole philosophy behind that thinking.
Well, I'm not bringing it up to say that like we're because
no, I know. But that's why it was floating around, and that's what it led to. Was like, if Reagan today was as long ago as World War II before World War II was to people then, if now was Hogan's Heroes, and then if people today just like
you're like,
cares? Who gives a shit?
I feel like, Sean, you're like the angry Eckhart Tolle. Like you're yelling
in the moment.
Be here now.
I really mean that though. Like I think I think it fucks people up to be like,
right.
Oh my God, the time before, I mean, this guy literally wrote like, we'll never see a time like that again. And I'm like,
good.
What are you talking about? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who cares? Yes, we won't, but we'll see a million other things that will be equally amazing, if not more so.
I'll say, you know what?
That's my cue. Yep.
I do think that's bubbling up because we've gone through a time where people have gotten more sentimental, and I think sentimentality leads to nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
And some things, like you're saying, some things, we'll never have that again. You're lamenting it, and other things that are like, at least we don't have that anymore, or that's changing. I mean, and so people are going back and forth between like, mourning it, and at the same time, thinking like it can't be done anymore, Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but I also feel like part of it is the sentiment of like, I can't believe how much time has passed.
Right.
And like,
right.
How can you not believe that? You were here for the amount of time that you've been here for. Yeah, be here now, Eckhart Tolle. That's the other thing. I was like, I don't know why people didn't get that I was making fun of what they were saying. And maybe they did, and they just chose to ignore it. Because I was like, people will look back at the storming of the Capitol, or I can't remember how I phrased it, but it was like, the way we look back at the defenestration of Prague is how people will look back at the storming of the Capitol in 2463 or something like that. Like, who gives a shit,
Eddie's ears are burning out there somewhere right now.
We are stepping into his brand a little bit.
Well, are we? About what?
No, he loves
angrily in the moment. I don't know.
He loves he loves the defenestration of Prague reference.
Oh well, then okay.
Where do you think he got it from?
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, I just think that that's such an absurd way to think about the world of like, I can't believe like this was then.
Yeah, I was just messing around when I was brought it up. It was,
I just knock it off, enough.
Yeah, it was stupid.
Well,
I was just want to make fun of them.
I think it's because when you're 14, like 20 years ago, it might as well be 200 years ago. Like it is so disconnected to your life. But when you're older, 20 years ago isn't as disconnected. You could have memories from 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, whoa, that's crazy.
Well, the other thing is, I don't know if like you guys feel this, but like it also shows how close.
I am crazy now.
It shows how close you are to that past. Like to me, like, yeah, like it's like, oh yeah, I was born in 1976. The Beatles broke up 6 years earlier. Like the Beatles as a whole thing seems like
the whole fucking country just started 200 years earlier. You know?
Yes.
You ever hear of those Beatles?
Yeah, I've heard of some of their songs. I like the songs. But yeah, like. So yeah, when I think about
Joe Cocker did a remake of a Beatles song, and they used that in that show. And then you went to a pool party, and you didn't even go in the pool. You played pool at the pool party.
What would the song be now, Jamie? If it were like 2003?
Party rock anthem.
Hey Ya.
I was gonna say Hey Ya.
Hey Ya was 2003. It definitely was.
Everyone likes Hey Ya.
Everyone loves Hey Ya.
I had a moment where I didn't like it, and that was probably in 2015 when it was being played. Some of the tech people at the Improv would play Hey Ya, and I was like, it's not a sweet spot for the song yet. Like it just seems like we're
nostalgic yet. Yeah, it
feels like we're like think that this is currently like it. I was like, we can't play Hey Ya right now. Maybe now we could.
A catchy tune, you know.
I think people are being pulled. A lot of people are being pulled to looking at mortality right now, and I think that's freaking.
But
people
that's
out.
Another thing that's bugging the shit out of me is
go on.
Just the ubiquity of death at this point.
Yeah.
Every time I go on Facebook, I see 7 posts from people I barely know about other people they know who have died, and I know somebody who on Facebook. Whenever a celebrity dies, and celebrity is such a
loose term.
Like what makes somebody a celebrity? It's like anybody who has ever done anything dies. This person will post a photo of them, and then people will start commenting on it. And it just feels so in your like. It was actually, this is not a great insight, but this was leading me to think today about how there is like literally nothing good about anything related to social media. I was really trying to catalog in my head, what is the benefit of any of it? It's a little bit good to be able to catch up on the news so easily, but other than that, it's just anger, hate, frustration, death. It's just a barrage of all those things on a regular basis. There goes another siren.
Make sure to check out our Twitter page.
Please like us on Instagram.
I wish there was more stuff like that on there, you know? And I just feel like there isn't. Anyway. I do feel like people are so into posting about death all the time now.
Death is all around us.
It is, but do we need to be reminded of that all the time? Does that have to be a thing that people go, hey, this guy died. This guy died too. Somebody else died. Guess who died? Anyway, what else, Jamie? You got a pool table at your parents' house. You went to a pool party when you were a kid. You didn't get in the pool, but you went to the pool table. What else?
It's like the song. It's like the Amber song.
By the way, who are we dedicating this episode to?
I don't know.
I can't think of anyone who's died.
There's got to be a recent one. Well, I can tell you something that died last night to me.
Did
any of you watch Coming to America?
The new one?
The first one?
The new one.
Coming
to America.
That's what he said.
Not Coming to America. That was just a regular one. The new one is called Coming to America.
We watched it at the theater last night, and I don't know that I was like super excited for it, but I was like, oh yeah, like that was a big movie when it came out, and I loved it and watched it 1,000 times as a kid. And it's in my experience of it was that it was really bad, like on many different levels. And
I can tell you who's not playing the Dynasty typewriter now, Jamie.
I shouldn't actually burn the bridge for
who's not coming to the Dynasty typewriter.
There actually was one of the main people in it is he did a great job. Jermaine Fowler. I don't know if you guys know him, the comedian.
Yeah.
But he has like arguably the main part. Like it's and it was so cool to see someone I've seen do stand up so many times, like But yeah. And speaking of nostalgia, I think it was like basically I would be like it's full on a family movie. There's nothing about it that's R-rated or.
That's the main criticism right now, Jamie. You're saying what most people are saying, that it's not as edgy as the first one.
There's no edge. It's basically like kind of like a Disney movie. But I feel like they literally said like, all right, this movie is for the people between 35 and 55 who watched this, when it came out. Now they're going to watch with their kids. Mm-hmm. So we can kind of like just kind of lightly kind of wink at the things that happened in the first one. But then it's like the whole story of it is just like a Disney movie. I don't know. It was possibly bad enough in my estimation that it's fun to watch with someone knowing that going in. But I would love to get your guys' take on it when so this film
and I'm trying to remember was coming to not Coming to America, but Coming to America, was that the one that supposedly Art Buchwald had written and sued for plagiarism?
Yes.
I think it was.
Yes. It was a big lawsuit.
Yeah.
He won. I
yeah.
believe. Yeah.
That it was his idea originally.
Right.
And, but yeah, I mean, I do feel like these kind of movies where it's 20 years later, I mean, they didn't even change the name. It's literally the same.
There wasn't even like a colon something like our podcast.
Right. I mean, at least we fucking changed the name. If we had started our second version of this podcast 5 years ago, we would now be
5 years into
the fifth year of the show.
But we're never changing our Tin Pan Alley theme song.
So you yeah. Which was outdated to begin with. So, Jamie, you don't recommend the movie.
I would recommend it to families.
Just know that it's defanged.
It's defanged, and I was just like the writing and like the love story of it. The sad part was, I mean, I guess they cut to like Eddie Murphy and Arsenio in the the crazy makeup, and they're in the barber shop, and that might have been the funniest part where you're like, oh, they're funny. But the rest of the thing, like Eddie Murphy, like everything is just his eyes going up. Like he's never actually funny. And that made me sad.
They at least get him to laugh a couple times, like where he was like,
no, none.
Because that was such a kicker, And
there were like a couple, like just like, the whole thing was nostalgia. There's a point, like there's a big dance, and like I guess now En Vogue is performing and Salt and Peppa, but it wasn't like, which is fun, but like it felt like
movie.
It felt like what should be happening like at the Golden Globe like dance thing. Like, oh, there's Salt and Peppa. It's the Golden Globes or the Music Awards, the Grammys, but not like just in the middle of a Coming to America.
Coming to America, not Coming to America.
Coming
to America.
Have you guys ever seen the porn
what does that mean?
The porn parody?
Coming to America. No, what's the porn parody?
Coming on America?
No.
Coming for
Is it
America?
good? Well done?
It's too family oriented.
No edge.
No edge.
All right, so thumbs down on that. What else, Jamie? Pool party, not in the pool, playing pool, got a pool table. Thumbs down on Coming to America. New lamp. What else?
That's everything on my list.
Okay.
So we're done here.
For all of those who have not been watching this, Jamie, your purple light, I think, is pretty soothing.
Yeah, I feel calmer than I did half an hour ago, which seemed impossible.
It really did. Like I was, had I been seeing you in person, I would have checked your pulse at that point.
I was looking at myself every once in a while. I'm like, I've never been this still. Like I'm not moving. Like my back is arched and like away, and it's just not moving.
All right. Well, I'll just very quickly check in, which is to say that I we are getting to the end of this whole thing, and
knock on wood.
It feels like things are more important now. I mean, they've been important the whole time, but they're almost more important now than they've ever been for this to
work,
to end. Yeah. To finally be squashed. And I don't know for sure, but that might be why I finally, for the first time during all of this, I haven't really been a lot in a position where I saw somebody that I felt an urge to admonish for their lack of consideration for their fellow man by the fact that they're not wearing masks. But I guess because I feel like now they're making such a big deal about it, of like, you need to keep wearing the mask now to make sure, even if you're vaccinated, you have to keep wearing the mask to make sure that this goes away. And I went, as all of my adventures happened, this one happened at Starbucks the other day, and I went in and there was a lot of people in there. There was like 20 people in this little Starbucks, and the guy right in front of me online, and I say online because I am from New York.
Because you're wrong.
The guy right in front of me online did not have a mask on.
I say two
That sounds crazy.
And I was like, hey, you should probably, like, I just said it. Like, I was like, hey, you should probably have a mask on. I think that'd be a good idea. And he didn't say anything. He just fucking glared at me and tried to stare me down for like a good 10 seconds, was just like,
ugh.
And I just, I didn't know what to do. Like, I said what I had to say. He needed to be wearing a mask. And then he goes, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine, but you should have a mask on. Look around. Everybody's wearing a mask except for you in the entire place. You should have a mask on.
Sean, did he have a mask like underneath?
No, he didn't even have one under his. And that's what I said. I go, do you have a mask? Because they probably have them here if you want to get one. And what I didn't realize was that somebody apparently was already going to get him one.
Oh.
And he didn't respond to that. And then finally he stepped back and went, go ahead, that I should go ahead of him. But what I didn't realize was that it was going to get even better, which was I stepped in front of him and he just kind of turned and said, like, almost right in my ear, he was like, make my day. And then he walked out. Like, he didn't even stay. He left the place.
Good.
So, like, I like how he thought that he won, but it's like, I got everything I wanted.
He was quoting Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry, for no reason in a context where it didn't make sense.
Make any sense.
Yeah.
Make my day by doing what you want to
go ahead. Make my day.
Sir, you're making my day.
Yeah. but even so, like, because he was so angry at me, I the whole time I was waiting, I was then like, is he gonna come back from his car with a tire iron? Like, what's going on? What's the thing? Because I know how these things work. And he never came back, but it bothers me so much that people are so incapable of considering the people around them, and that he was already so charged up instead of being like, yeah, I probably should be doing that. I probably should be wearing a mask. And then I went back 2 days later, same exact place, different guy sitting at a table. There's nobody else in there, just the two of us. I walk in and he immediately stares me down, like is just glaring at me as soon as I walk in. And you can say that I'm imagining that, but I have been dealing with stares and dirty looks for my entire life, and I know when it's happening. His look was, I will fucking kill you if you say a thing to me. And I didn't even know what was happening. Like, I didn't even know why this guy was staring at me at first. It was just a thing where I walked in and all of a sudden we're in a stare down. And I was like, what's going on? And then I realized that the reason he was glaring at me like that was because he didn't have a mask on and he was waiting for somebody to say shit to him. And I was like, I'm not going to not bizarre. Say something just because this guy's being super aggro. So I said, hey, you should probably have a mask on. And he was like, it's okay. I was like, no, it's not. And I got up to the counter because, like I said, there was nobody else there. And I was like, are you okay with that guy sitting here with no mask on? And the guy behind the counter goes, and this was like, it took me a second to even process this because it was so nonsensical. But I didn't want to get into it with the barista. But the barista goes, oh, yeah, it's okay for people to have their masks off when they're sitting at the tables.
Which is...
It doesn't make any sense. Like,
no.
If you're just coming in to stand online and leave, then you have to have your mask on. But if you're staying, it's fine. Take your mask off. So I didn't even say anything to that guy. And then, I just got my coffee and I turned around and the guy's still giving me the hairy eyeball from the other side of the fucking place. So I just walked over towards him and I was like, you got to put a mask on, man. Sorry. Like, that's how it goes. And he just went like this. And I was like, yeah, all right. But you're wrong,
I've noticed that everyone I've seen in the streets, most people are still wearing masks in my neighborhood. But probably once or twice a day, there is someone. And I feel like either they forgot it. Like a couple of times I've walked out and I forgot it. And I feel like this feels so good. But then anyway, either they'll cross the street because they're trying to be as considerate as they can be for being terrible. But I feel like there's another type of person like that person that is their whole MO, like where I can feel them staring at me. Like, you want to make a deal about this?
Say something, motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, I am judging you.
Yeah. Yeah, like, how dare you look at me and think that I should be like you and wear a mask, It's like such a super aggressive way to live. And I think that is so fucked up and such a weird thing.
I hate to say it too, but I don't think whatever that percentage of people is, those people, specifically assholes, it'll never go away. That's the thing. Hopefully more people in LA get better about wearing masks, especially at this point in the whole fucking thing. But there's always going to be somebody out there who just doesn't. I feel like at this point, that's what I'm trying to accept, that there's just always going to be somebody out there.
I don't disagree, but I also feel like, and of course, this goes back to my whatever mental illness I've had for the last 5 years. I feel like those people that is fucking Donald Trump's fault that people are behaving that way. They're behaving that way because he himself
empowered them to be that entitled.
Turned it into an issue.
It's like he supercharged every fucking ego out there.
Yeah.
Into being so much worse.
So you're not wrong that these people are assholes and they're going to find something to asshole about, but he gave them this thing to be assholes about. Right. And now they're walking around giant gaping assholes.
Right. I will say I do appreciate how visible it is. Like, granted, not in a restaurant or in a building, that would be freaky deaky, but it is nice. Hundreds of yards away, I could say, oh, that's a lunatic, and I can cross the street. Like, it is nice that there's sort of like a canary.
Here comes
in
a piece of shit. Yeah.
It's nice that it's so visible on some level, that it isn't like, it's not a hidden danger.
Yeah. I agree with you, but at the same time, I'm like, so I have to walk into Starbucks and be like, oh, sorry, I'm not going to look at this guy, or walk in and go, forget it, I'll go somewhere else.
Right.
Right. It just the nastiness of it is so striking to me. Of like, I know I'm supposed to be wearing a mask. I know people are going to be pissed at me, and fuck them.
And everyone has to decide what that moment of confrontation will be. Because as you said, Sean, if you leave, then that guy is taking something away from you that you're entitled to
I should be able to walk in and get a mocha coconut latte with half calf skim
as a customer
Extra
in
hot.
this business, you expect a certain level of public safety that this guy, by not wearing a mask, is changing negatively. Yeah, it's
100%.
Yeah, well,
but I guess to be fair, you are allowed to not wear a mask when you're sitting at a table. The table cancels out whatever germs you might be spreading. So anyway, it'd be nice if people weren't assholes, but I guess you're right. People are.
I think we should put badges on them. Like we should, like Amber, you were saying it's easier to identify them. So I think let's give them some kind of asshole badge, and maybe put them somewhere. Put them on. I don't know.
Well, kind of red hats.
Like train. I don't know. Where like you're at, train or something.
Oh, geez.
No, Joe.
Joe.
Am I shifting?
It got a little dark. No doubt about it.
Guys, I swear I wasn't at the Capitol riot, by the way. Unlike some other people.
Oh, the Mr. Show guy.
Hey, Johnston, what is that?
It was so weird to see what we have actually joked about on this podcast in real fucking life. But what are you going to do?
Wait, what did we joke about on this podcast?
I think we've made jokes about
putting stickers on assholes
about any of us at the Capitol riots. Yeah.
That there was somebody we knew at the Capitol riots was crazy.
Well, different strokes, as you said.
America, man. This is America. All right. Well, it's time for a segment on the show that we like to call Parting Shots. So let's start today with Jamie. Parting shots.
I guess I'll just say, two things. One, I feel like the ratio in my life of living of the earth and the earthly realm, I'm like, meaning like just constantly worried and concerned about work and 1,000 other things. Like I'm there 80 to 90% of the time. And then there's those moments still.
When you say there, you're talking about a state of mind, correct?
Be here now.
Yes, it's a state of mind. Versus when I tap into the creativity and just more in touch with myself and playful and just making things, being present. Yes, I think let's go there. I'm present. Maybe 10%, 90%, just kind of worried, and I've just made it my goal.
You're present 10%, 90%. That's 100%.
And 90%.
10% present, 90% not present.
Yeah, and maybe there's I don't know the exact percentage.
The numbers might fluctuate.
Yes, I'm sure they fluctuate in days and weeks.
Today was like 6%.
I feel like I've actually been hovering around 70.
Just a suggestion. Sorry. If you change your goal to not being present, you might be ahead of the game if you want to do that.
All right.
If you want to flip it.
Set realistic goals.
Yeah. No, I've just made it I'm trying to slowly shift those numbers.
Right.
That's the game right now. Slow my roll. Just
not the all or nothing.
Not the Immaculata. And I will say, like
Encantada, tostada.
I'm now, I think 6 or 8 weeks into.
That was Sean who said that.
Into moderation.
That's Eddie's territory.
Wait, what are you?
Thank you. I needed the reset. I couldn't figure out how to do it myself.
That question can go so many ways.
I'm now like a couple months into this a lifestyle that I've not been able to hold on to, where it's moderate, and I'm doing yoga.
What we've been saying for years, literally 11 years.
For sure, the way to go. But it's not Immaculata. Like I'm doing yoga 4, 5, 6 times a week. If I don't do it, I'm like.
Then you do it the next day. No big deal.
The next day. I'm trying to not eat too much sugar, but like once a week I'll get something, or from my parents and they got a fucking banana bread that my mom makes. It's so good. I'll have a little bit.
Good.
Jamie, I don't know if you know this, but
this sounds healthy.
You can choose a reaction that is like if you were clapping for the person and you press on the little hand that's clapping and that comes up in the corner. I did that for you.
Oh, I didn't see that. And thank you. I love animation. I love animation. Thank you. Thank you.
And Sean's giving you a thumbs up.
I know. I see it. And now that was a clap. This feels great. You're celebrating it. Also, how fun would it be? It might not be fun at all, but at the end of the episode to go through Aaron's chat and see if we can remember what he's talking about for like.
I also have been obsessed with the fact that in the Bitmoji, this is for no one, but the koala is so happy. But Aaron is like,
I know. I think that's all of them.
Which is also funny because koalas are known for being just lumps.
Right. You know? Like they switched personalities. Maybe it's like a Friday situation.
Aaron is the lump.
No.
That's what we're saying.
What else, Jamie?
Well, can I just read his quotes and so we can kind of have like a recap of the episode?
Sure.
This is Jamie's new sneaking into segment. Putting the responsibility for parting shots on somebody besides himself. Go ahead, Jamie.
This will just be like a little bit like, well, we can look back and be like, this was 2 hours ago, and how old are we now?
If we had said that now,
it would be later.
Channing Tatum, Leon Lett, Grapes, Lamp Effects, yes, Frank Jack, People Be Dying, nope, and Hero. Well,
I like People Be Dying and then followed by nope.
Anyway,
that was a good recap.
How did you feel about that, Jamie? Did you feel like you accomplished what you set out to do by reading all that back?
I accomplished the goal of reading it out loud.
Okay.
But as far as it being a successful execution of a segment that can be a part of our show for episodes to come, I think we should give it one more shot.
You're not allowed to miss shows anymore.
I would gladly allow. I think maybe next week one of you should try that, or even one of you.
Is it just to prove that we can read? Because that's basically what you did.
We miss
Can
you.
someone here not read?
I guess we'll find out.
In my country, I cannot read.
All right. Let's go next to Joe. Parting shots, Joe.
My parting shot is I spend a lot of time on social media, and this week I happened to see a post of someone who was asking how to go about writing a pilot. And a lot of people in Hollywood right now are trying to go for their writing dreams. So
you say, "Dear Mr. Pilot, how do you fly?"
I can send you a link to the thread, Amber, if you want to throw that one on the file. And somebody in responding to their post mentioned Sean's sitcom writing class. So I thought, oh, this is great. I jumped in to plug Sean's class. Then somebody else commented afterwards to say, oh yeah, I was looking at his class too. I just wasn't able to get into the current session, but I'm really excited to take the next one. So I just wanted to plug Sean's class. Anybody in the world can take it now because it's on Zoom. And
it sounds like he doesn't need the plug.
No, I know. I just wanted to remind people that Sean has a popular sitcom writing master class. Go check it out on his site. It's great. Like the guy that was asking initially, when I told him about Sean's, I sent him a link to Sean's site, and he signed up for Sean's newsletter. He started reading Sean's newsletter and loved his newsletter. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Sean's making waves online. That's my parting shot.
I'm huge online. So that is something good that comes out of social media, is that people plug my class.
There you go.
That's a benefit. Well, thank you for doing that, Joe. I appreciate it. I'll have to hunt down that thread and follow up with those people. Always working. Always working.
Are you starting one?
90% working, 10%. Immaculata.
Are you starting one in April or beginning of?
Probably May. Probably mid-May.
Okay.
May is the perfect month for that.
It is. That's a big month for sitcom writing classes. All right. Amber, parting shots.
First of all, this Zoom lipstick is unreal, right?
Oh, yeah.
It looks so good.
It really does.
So anyway,
my parting shot is I look good.
No, but like I thought I guess filter technology has come a long way. But usually, like, I'm used to it not really being your actual lip line and not coming with you when you move. You know, like there'd be a delay. Like it looks real to me. Anyway,
wait, you're saying
this is not my lips?
Oh my god!
Isn't that insane?
Oh my god!
Right?
Can I say something crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I am clean shaven.
You can't believe anything.
No. No, I it's funny because when it started, when we came back from break, I was like, oh, that looks fucked up. But then I realized that it was not, that it was real. And now you're saying that it is
fake,
not real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it was a little bit off right at the beginning.
Mm. I had a different
ever
color.
Since then. Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I'd like to drop a bomb on everyone. I have a full head of hair.
That's the worst filter ever.
I have one too. I'm a dragon.
But that isn't my actual parting shot. It's just technology is amazing and it's scary. This morning I was on a Zoom baby shower.
Hello.
Not
Zoom baby shower.
It's not the first Zoom baby shower I've been on in the past 12 months. And it's strange, you know, like it's you got to do what you got to do. And it was wonderful to be a part of it in a way that I could, but it's just, you know, 20 people on a Zoom saying that we're happy for them in different ways, you know, like there's
we're all,
but I was crying.
It does make the gender reveal safer when they fire the cannon,
right?
And you decide whether it's a boy or a girl because it's blue or red when the cannon goes off.
And by the way, speaking of too much death, how many people have died from those freaking?
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's good to do it on Zoom.
It is
I just
insane.
Listened to a podcast on the history of gender reveal parties, and they're only about 10 years old. Anyway, it's fascinating. It's a fascinating thing to me. But so on this Zoom baby shower, everyone was expressing so much love and excitement for them. And her parents were on, and her parents were so sweet. I was crying like 5 seconds into it, like a crazy person. But I also, you know, I miss my friends. I miss that friend. And it's all very surreal. It's, I feel like a broken record, but like a lot of things like that, like friends having babies, it's hard for it not to just feel theoretical in like a Zoom landscape. Like there's no connection.
A landscape would be really nice.
That'd be so cute. I bet you that's one of the filters.
Super cute.
Hi, welcome to Landscape.
I'm a landscape designer.
Everyone's falling asleep all the time. I guess that's cheap. Anyway. But yeah, it was really, really sweet, and it was really emotional, but it was like this strange mixture of like so sweet, so great, so awkward, so it was like so everything. And
this sucks. That's what the combo has been for so many emotional things right now. It's like, oh, this is so great. That reminds me how much this is not
normal.
Yeah.
Landscape.
Welcome to the landscape, baby.
I'm and you're purple, but the lambs aren't, and that's so strange. But yeah, I guess I'm excited to someday, just like everyone else, this is not interesting or unique, but celebrate things in real life with my
fucking
real
hard,
loved
man.
ones. Yeah.
It's really hard.
Circle of life, though, with all those babies being born.
Babies, friends who are babies, friends who are having babies, friends who are babies, babies having babies.
Having baby.
Jeff joined on the Zoom baby shower with me because he knows the folks, and baby showers tend to devolve into a lot of like the moms being like, oh, the amount of poop that you're gonna see. Like, it's very gross. And
there's a lot of dick and balls jokes.
And yeah, it was just, he was making me laugh. Thank God we were on mute. But he was like, wow, babies sound even grosser than I thought they were. They're like, 'cause somebody was talking about a straw that you suck on to get boogers out of the baby's
nose. Yes.
It's tough stuff.
That's the worst thing I've heard in a while.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad stuff.
Imagine if you had to.
We didn't have that when I was younger. You just sucked it right out of the nose, mouth to nose.
That's what nannies would do. That's what I know.
Mouth to nose.
Well, why can't they have boogers in their nose? Why are we so desperate to suck them all out?
Don't get me started about boogers.
Well, Amber, first of all,
you do not want boogers in your nose. If there's one place you don't want boogers, it's in your nose.
Boogers.
Amber, they taste delicious. It's like a delicacy.
Boogers.
It's like a delicacy.
So yeah, I guess that's my parting shot.
You could suck boogers out of babies' noses. If you didn't know before.
Yeah, I didn't know. This makes me want to go to like a nursery and feast, you know.
They said there's a screen, so like the boogers don't make it to your mouth, but you still are
until you clean the screen. How do you think you do that?
This is the best baby shower I've ever been to.
Screen. Every Tuesday is screen cleaning day.
Tough stuff.
Tough stuff. I mean, you know, I had a problem with the internet today. Oh, I know what I could talk about. I got a cushion today, and it's the biggest thing that's happened to me in a month.
I would be fucking put up on a cross for bringing that.
Do it up.
That's fair. That's a fair point he brought up.
I agree.
And I welcome it. I want to hear about this cushion.
No,
I want to hear everything
Put me up on a cross. Put me up on a cross.
I would like to see this cushion.
Crucify me.
That's the word.
No, I've been home. I've been home for a month. There are not a lot of places to go where I am because it is a small place. There are two other people who live here. They both have a tendency to be engaged in phone conversations on a regular basis. My dad talks to people on the phone. My mom talks to people on the phone. They both do that on speakerphone so that it's, you know, there's just nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
Four voices.
Shouting is involved. Like you have to shout loud enough for the speakerphone to hear you. So I'm hearing the people they're talking to. I'm hearing them shouting at the phone.
It's like two of our podcasts.
Yeah. Which means I spend a lot of time in this room, and you're talking about, you know, shoving your table into your nook or whatever it was.
Whoa.
That's how babies are born.
Wow. When a man
anyway, Jeff shoved his table into my nook.
The world's greatest salesman's in the corner of the room.
Yeah. You're not talking about a desk. You're talking about a dining. You want a dining room table in your nook, okay? Let me tell you, you don't want a desk.
This is gross.
But I have a bed which is just directly over there, and there's a folding table that I have set up as a desk, and they are they're basically abutting each other. So there's just no room to move anything around in here. And so the chair that I got is what's called a captain's chair. Are you familiar with a captain's chair? It's wood. It's made of wood. It's a wood chair. It's a wood. The seat is wood.
Like a ship novel sort of.
A ship novel chair.
I like
exactly.
That. I like
it's a poo-poo. It's like a poo-poo chair.
Don't poo-poo chairs. You can get a straw where you can suck poo-poo out of a chair. There's a lot of poo-poo that gets in the
There's
chair.
the title for the episode.
But it just means, and then also sometimes I'm down in the kitchen. The kitchen is also all wooden chairs. So I'm sitting for hours and hours every day teaching classes, doing podcasts.
Your
on
buttocks
these
have
wooden
been
chairs,
abused.
And it is not good.
Yeah,
you know,
it's punishing.
It's just not comfortable.
Your butt.
So anyway, finally today, and I had spoken of it days ago, probably a week ago. I said I'm trying to get again. This is not, it's kind of a criticism. It's not really a criticism, but anything I do, anything I eat, anything I do, anywhere I go is the subject of an inquisition, you know? So I was on the computer.
You're fascinating to them.
I was on the computer. What are you doing? I'm looking at cushions. I want to get a cushion for the chair upstairs. And somebody said, I won't say who it was. Somebody said,
male or female?
Male. Somebody said, oh, I'm sure we have cushions around here somewhere. There's got to be one around here somewhere. And I was like, defeated in my mission. Like, okay, all right, I'll
never try.
There's no fucking cushion. So finally, 3 days later, I went and I got a measuring tape and I measured the seat to see like what size cushion do I need to get for this particular chair. And I took the measurements. Then I went online and online, not inline. I say online when I go online. And I looked, search.
You were in the web.
Ask Jeeves, what about cushions Alta Vista? Tell me.
What about
and I found them, and the measurements were wrong. They were completely wrong of the cushions they were selling. And I was like, you know what? I am going to chance it. I am going to try it and see if the cushion fits. And I know that I could be totally wrong, but I feel like why would they make 11 different sizes of seat cushions for cushions that go on chairs are not
chairs.
They're pretty. I mean, they're not exactly all the same, but the seat is generally the same size.
You heard it here first, everybody. Chairs are chairs.
It's true. I mean, think about that for a second, then think about it again and see if you're right.
Chairs will still be chairs.
If you had said 20 years ago chairs were chairs, today you'd be like, wow, somebody already said that a while ago. Yeah.
Stop living in the past.
To everything. Cheers.
So anyway, today the thing came and I was right. It fits fine. It's not exactly right.
Cinderella story.
Fine. And I will say it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Here, let's.
I gotta see it.
Let me.
Do you tie it onto the chair? Or is it just
nope,
loosey goosey? Wow.
Okay.
That's not what I was picturing at all.
Didn't get a lot of screen time there, but from what I could tell, it was great for your ass.
Oh.
Whoa. Wow.
Okay.
That's some gel shit, bro.
You jealous?
Unfortunately, I thought because it was gel, I had to put it in the freezer first.
That would probably feel good.
Let's just say I have a frostbit asshole right now.
Thanks for dancing around it.
Can we end
Let's
on
just
that?
say,
can we end on that?
Dancing around my frostbit asshole.
Anyway, I feel such a relief because it's been a month that I've been here.
Yeah, that's
just
crazy.
Sitting on these goddamn wooden chairs, and now My buttocks are being caressed like a baby's buttocks, or I don't know what. I don't know what you do.
Like a baby's booger.
Right.
Sorry, if I could go back in time.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Someone is changing the colors on their lipstick filter.
Oh, no, it would be a fun game for us.
What?
Right now it's green. It's green.
To try to match colors.
No, I can't do anything. That's not fun. I don't feel part of it.
Jamie, look, I also cannot do anything.
That's not fun for me.
Just say the word green. Green.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Shoot. Damn it.
Yeah, let me see if I can switch my filter. Green. Did it work? All right, folks. This has been The Long Shot. A memorable episode. It will go down in history. See, that looks real. Your lips look real right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Totally. Absolutely.
Wait,
and your wall looks real, Jamie. It looks like your wall is really changing colors.
Did Joe do a parting shot?
Yeah, I plugged Sean's writing.
Oh, right. What page are you on?
6.
We made it to 32.
Oh, I thought you were talking about my writing class. I'm on page 6.
Yes, page update 32. 32. Thank you.
So you are 1/3 of the way there.
No, less than a third. Close to a half.
Do you know about the number 32?
Really? Less than a third is close to a half?
No, closer. I'm saying closer to a half.
So it's more than a third.
Between 60 and 70 pages, so 32 would be 64. So if it ends up being 64,
so basically you're saying less than a quarter.
No, more than a quarter. More than a quarter. 2 quarters.
Okay.
I put my math filter on.
Honestly, fraction talk. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Halfway there.
Can we do a sound check? Do you guys mind if we end with a sound check?
That's a good idea.
Folks, we'll see you next time on The Long Shot. It's a podcast, come hell or high water, and the end.
Bye, guys.